everyone, I'm Simon Boxall in for Donna Bush with your CIG television news brief on this Thursday. Thanks for being here. Now that the hurricane season has started, officials responsible for every element of preparation before, during, and after the storm are reminding residents of what this season could look like. Director General of the Cayman Islands National Weather Service, Mr. John Tibbetts, explains more.
It is a season that is being a bit challenging for the forecasting, to be honest with you. We've got two separate dynamical events. One is the possibility of an El Nino forming in the Pacific. I will warn people that the predictions for an El Nino La Nina cycle is not an exact science. It's not particularly, it's not a high confidence event, as it were. But the general idea is that there's a decent chance for an El Nino to form. And of course, we don't know how the form of that El Nino will come. We don't know how strong that El Nino will be. Okay? But if the El Nino comes, it's good news for us because it tends to hamper tropical development because it usually results in a lot of what we call wind shear over the Atlantic Basin. Okay? At the same time, however, we've got something that's working counter to it, and that is we have warmer than normal sea surface temperatures in the Atlantic Ocean. We have to treat every season as if we're going to get another Ivan or a Mitch or something of that sort.
Mr. Tibbetts did say that experts from Colorado State University are predicting that the 2023 hurricane season could be slightly below average. However, residents should still be prepared. One way to do so is to go online to caymanprepared.ky for information on how best to prepare your family, home, and properties for the hurricane season, which ends on November 30th.
Read, grow, inspire. Oh!
Students who attend Prospect Primary School recently celebrated Reading Week. Students read books and took part in a number of interactive activities, including a puppet show based on a story from the late Twyla Vargas. They also performed a skit focused on reading.
Students have taken part in reading activities, such as doing activities during their PE sessions based on reading. They've done it in their music sessions, they've done it in their ICT sessions by actually creating their own interactive storybooks.
The goal of Reading Week at Prospect Primary is to have students learn to love reading. This was the second year that Reading Week was held at Prospect Primary School. Now for our continued coverage of the announcement earlier this week of the airport's master plan and redevelopment projects. Today we hear more about the environmental impact assessment and the timeline on the 4 projects.
We don't know what the impacts are for a runway expansion at the moment, extension. But we do know in 2008, Jacobs did a master plan, and the effect of any impacts out there is basically related to seagrass only. But that said, we will be doing an EIA. In fact, an application for a scoping has been put forward to DOE. That went out on the 5th of May. So as soon as we get the scoping from the Environmental Assessment Board, an RFP will go out to get an environmental consultant, and then we'll go from there. And then we'll get the true impacts of that extension.
The priority for us from a safety perspective is the air traffic management. That's absolutely critical. So that will kick off as soon as possible. But the EIAs will begin on the runway extension. EIAs for the work we have to do in Cayman Brac may also require a EIA. So all those will kick off at the same time, and then we'll roll into a defined timeline once we know the results of the EIAs.
Join us here on Friday evening when we bring you more details on the airport projects. Turning now to our local weather conditions, tonight there's a 60% chance of rainfall. Sea conditions remain suitable for boaters with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Over the next 2 days, we can expect a gradual improvement with lessening cloudiness and a decrease in the chance of showers expected from Friday evening. To learn more about what's happening weather-wise, check out the Cayman Islands Weather Service's website and Facebook page. And this brings us to the end of our Thursday news brief here on CIG Television. I'm Simon Boxall in for Donna Bush, wishing you all a very good night.